Hello students. In the last lecture, I have tell you the how to start your GSP project in NetBeans. Now I'm going to tell you what are the implicit objects. Okay, so there are basically 9 GSP implicit objects, and these objects are created by the web container and that are available to all the GSP pages. So basically, we have 9 implicit objects, and I'm going to tell you one by one all the implicit objects. So here we have a list of 9 implicit objects and the type from which it is created, that is the class from which it is created. Okay, in servlet we have to create the object, but in JSP these objects are available. Okay, you don't have to create the object, you can directly use these objects. So here we have an out of the type JSP writer, request HTTP servlet request, response we have HTTP servlet response, for config we have servlet config, and for the application we have servlet context. Session, for that if you are going to use the session, that is to maintain the session throughout. Okay, so you have to create the session implicit object, and you can store the session variable and the value associated with that. I will tell you practically how you will do this. Okay, so next we have page context, and here the type is page context, a page implicit object, and an exception. Okay, so one by one I am going to explore all these in detail. So first, the JSP out implicit object. So if you are going to use in the servlet, just you have to create the object of print writer, and you have to get the writer. So you can use the response dot get writer. So with the help of this particular line, you will be used this particular out in servlet. But in JSP you don't need to write this code. You don't need to write this code. You can directly use this particular as out dot println, and println is a method available in this particular out implicit object. Okay, so I will tell you practically how we'll do this. So suppose this example I have already done. So we have declared our method as cube, and what it will do, it will receive one parameter, and the next it will return math.power, that is cube root of the x, that is x to the power 3. Okay, so here I am declare as out.println, just to print this particular value, the cube. I have called the method cube and pass the number 3. Suppose I have passed 3.2. Okay, so I have to declare, I have to change the type to double. Okay, as I have passed here a float value. So now, and for decimal I have used the double. So now I'm going to execute this. You can execute this program with the help of, you can directly run with the help of run file option. Now the output appears in the web page, as this is a web project, so you have to wait for that. So here you can see that the cube root of 3.2, what I have passed the value, yes, I have passed 3.2, and the cube root of that is printed here. So with the help of out implicit object, we can do the printing part. Okay, so next implicit object I'm going to explore. Okay, so we have a request implicit object, and there is this implicit object of type HTTP servlet request, that is created for each JSP request by the web container. But you can directly use this, or it can be also used to get a request information such as the parameter, header information, remote address, server name, server port, content type, and character encoding. There are so many methods available with this implicit object. So let's explore it. Let's create a new web page. Okay, and name as REQ, finish it. So we have a new page with the name req.jsp, and I'm going to explore the concept of request. Okay, so here first I will design a form. Okay, so how can you do this? Very easy, I have already explained it. So suppose we have a form, the name equals to f1, and the method is post. You can also use get, but get is less secure as compared to post. Okay, and in post the information is not visible to the URL, but in get the information is visible to the URL. That's why but get is fast, but I don't need get here because I need a security. Okay, so next we have an action. In action part I will tell the name of the page that is going to be redirected. Okay, so suppose if this particular form is submitted, it will be redirected to a new page. The name of the page, suppose I declared as req out request out dot jsp. Okay, so this page I have to create it, and let's close the form. Okay, so form is created. Now we have to include the parameter. Suppose I am going to put the username and I have to pass it uh, any text, so we have to create a text field. So input type equals to text and name of the text field, this is required, name equals to t1, and suppose if you want to placeholder, so you placeholder, you can write the username. Okay, so next, to submit this particular information we have a submit button. So input type equals to submit. Okay, in value I have to give the name of the, so I have declared login. Okay, so now when this particular form is submitted, it will be redirected to the request out.jsp page. So I have to create this particular page. So let's create it and name it as request req request out. Okay, okay, now what will happen, you have to extract the parameter you have passed in your form. So let's do the coding of JSP. Okay, so I have declared a variable string, I have declared a string variable un, and I want to retrieve the information, so I have called it request dot. So you have here you have seen that there are so many methods available. Okay, I will show you some more methods also. Request dot get parameter. Okay, and here I am giving the name of the variable, that is the name of the text field, and now I'm going to print it with the help of out implicit object. So out.println or print whatever you want. So out.println, and here you can pass as the username is okay. Suppose you want some more information, so request dot, so get remote host. Okay, next we have some more methods also. I'll tell you. You can also get the remote address also. You can also have a remote address. Okay, now execute this. So I have to execute this particular form and run this. Let's write the username and log in it. Okay, so the username is this, and this is the remote address, as this is not available on the server, this is a local host, that's why it is printed like this. So the remote host and the remote address, these are printed also. Okay, but if you are available on the particular server, it will print the remote host name and the address also. So this is a request implicit object. Basically you are going to retrieve the parameters using the request.get parameter from the forms. You can also retrieve a whole page, that is, suppose you have designed a particular form. So you will extract the whole information and it will be passed to the database. So the database part is very important. So for that you need a JDBC also. The JDBC concept I have already explained to you. So how can you embed your JDBC code into the JSP? I have a separate lecture for that. I will create a new video lecture in which I will tell you how to embed your JDBC code in JSP. Okay. So next we have a next new implicit object. This I have already explained. Response. So a response implicit object is an implicit object of type HTTP servlet response. Okay. So the instance of HTTP servlet response is created by the web container of each JSP request. It can be used to add or manipulate response, such as redirect response to another resource and send error also. So suppose you have submitted and you want to redirect to a new page. Okay, let's have an example on that. Suppose what you have done, you have created this form, okay, and you have given the action as request.out.jsp page. Now when you submit this form, it will be redirected to a request out.jsp. So when it is it will be redirected to this particular form, and I will here given condition that if the username is admin, it will be redirected to a index.jsp page. Okay, so we will have a response implicit object. Let's do it. So I am going to delete this code and I'm writing that if username is admin. Okay, so we have a response implicit object. And the location is index.jsp. Okay, so if this will happen, it will be redirected to a index.jsp, else it will show a message that invalid username. Now first I will run this file. Okay, so I have provided admin, then click on the login. So you'll see on the browser that it will be redirected to index.jsp. Okay, and I have written the code in request out.jsp. So this page is not shown on the URL, but it will show if this is a invalid user. Let's do it again and you will see the URL. Okay, so I have given this time admin1234 and again click on the login. Now I'll see that request out.jsp, and this time it will show a invalid username. Why it will show the invalid username? The reason behind this is that I have given the wrong username. Okay, so next we have a new implicit object as config. Okay, so in JSP config, so config is an implicit object of type servlet config, and the object can be used to get the initialization parameter for a particular JSP page. This is not so much used as it is not very useful, so I am not going to do it practically. I will tell you the code. If you are interested, you can do it. Okay, so we have a web.xml file in our configuration, and I also tell you how to add web.xml if this particular file is not exist. So I have already included the web.xml file. Here it is. So suppose we have created a form, and we want something to be extracted from this particular web.xml file. Okay, so this particular web.xml file have some configuration, so you have to add these code. Okay, this particular code you have to add in the web.xml configuration. You have to add a servlet, then the servlet name, then the JSP file and the init parameter. And in init parameter you have to provide a parameter name, that is dname, and the parameter value for that. Okay, so if you want this particular code to be, this particular value to be fetched with the help of config, so you can access by with the help of parameter name. Okay, so the code for extraction is like, so you have a config dot get init parameter, and here you can pass the dname. So the driver is, the name is sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver. So this particular value we will fetch from this particular web.xml, and it will be accessible to all the pages. Okay, so it is not very useful, and it is not also used so frequently. Okay, so next we have an application implicit object. So in application is an implicit object of type servlet context, and the instance of servlet context is created only by the web container and when application or project is deployed on the server. So this object can be used to get the initialization parameter from the configuration file web.xml. Again, we are going to use the web.xml file, and it can also be used to get, set or remove attribute from the application scope. You can also get the value, set the value, or you can also remove the particular attribute from this particular application scope, like you have done in the request.get parameter. Okay, in the same way. So suppose we have a application implicit object, and we have to get an initialization parameter of the dname. So dname, you are already discussed that in web.xml we have this particular dname, and we have extracted this dname and stored in the driver, and here we will print this particular driver. So with the help of application implicit object, you can also extract this particular value. Now next we have a session implicit object. This is very important. Okay, this is very important, I'm saying, because this is to be implemented in your project. Your session is going to be maintained everywhere. If a particular user is valid, you have to do the login and logout option available on your web project. So it will be implemented with the help of session. I'll show you the concept of session practically, because you have to use it. And we have one also video lecture on session only, where I can implement the module of the project. Okay, but here I'm telling you the basics of session. How can you do this? So in session, JSP session is an implicit object of type HTTP session. So here we have a form. Again, we have designed a form, and we have a text field and a submit button. So when you submit this particular form, what will happen? You can extract the username and print it. We have already done this. Okay, but suppose if you want to access this particular username in the next page or in multiple pages, how can you do this? So what we will do, we will maintain the session. Okay, we will store this particular username in the session variable we have created with the name user, and this value we are stored in this user. Okay, and if we are going to traverse any next page, then what will we do? We will extract this particular value with the help of a code session.get attribute. Okay, we will extract this value with the help of session.get attribute. So we will set the variable session variable and the value associated with that, and we will also fetch the particular value. So how can we do this? Session.get attribute. Okay, and we will typecast it to the string type, and then we will print it. Okay, so let's have a practically we will do this. I've already designed this code, but I think no. I have to design it. Okay, let's start. So suppose we have that request.jsp. Okay, I'll modify it. So let's have some modification here. So we have the form in which I have declared a username and a submit button. Okay, and the form is closed here. So when this particular form is submitted, it will be redirected to the request out.jsp page. Now come to the request out.jsp page. Next. So in request out.jsp page, we have done the redirection. Now I'm going to change this code, and now we have a username extracted from the form, and now I'm going to set in the session. So session dot set attribute. Okay, and here I have declared as user and the value is un. Okay, so I have declared a variable name as session variable name as user, and the value with the user that is stored in this is stored in the un, and I will get the un from the form that I have submitted. Okay, now next we have a new hyperlink. So I have not written in the inside the JSP code. I have because this is the code of HTML. So create a hyperlink. So hyperlink I have created. Suppose I have given session dot JSP, or you have session one dot JSP. Okay, and give a link as click here to go. Okay, and link closed. Okay, now it will be redirected to session one.jsp. So I have to create a new web page. The name of the web page is session one. Finish it. Now here I have to write a JSP code. So suppose I have declared a variable string type string un, and here I have to declare. Okay, so I will get the value session dot get attribute. Okay, and the name of the session variable is user. Let's check it. Yes, so this is the name of the session variable. So I'm going to fetch the value from the session variable, and now typecast it to the string. Okay, and put it semicolon here. So now we have extracted the username in with the username of the previous page, and it will be extracted in any pages till the session is active. Okay, so now I'm going to print this. So I have extracted here. So now we have this particular code. So let's execute it. Okay, so I have given here admin1234. Now I have clicked on the login page. So it is a hyperlink to go to the next page, and in this page request out dot JSP. The session variable is set here. So if I click on this particular link, it will be redirected to a page session1.jsp, and here I have extracted this username. That means this particular session variable will be extracted anywhere till the session variable is active. Okay, so I have a detailed video lecture on this particular session variable. So this is the basics of particular session variable, how to set the value and how to get the value. Okay, so this is the flow. So I will tell you again. First we have created a form, and then we have what we have done, we have submit this particular form, and it will be redirected to the request out.jsp. Okay, in this particular part I have extracted with the help of request implicit object and stored in the variable un, and then we have created a new session variable with the name user, and this value is stored in this particular session variable. And then we have a hyperlink just to visit to the new page, and when this particular hyperlink is clicked, then it will be redirected to this page. And here I've extracted the session variable with the help of session variable name and stored in this particular username and printed. Okay, so this is the flow where in which I can set and get the session attribute. Okay, so next we have a page context implicit object. So I will explain this particular concept in next video. So I'm going to stop here. So in this particular page context implicit object, we have the same concept. Okay, so here what additional thing is that we have page, request, session and application. All these we can do with the help of page context. So I'm not going to do this practically. I will tell you the program, you can do it. So in the same way I have created a form, you can also create a form. And to extract this particular code, to do this particular to fetch the parameter, so we have a request.get parameter, and we will print this particular. Now we have a page context implicit object. In this we have a method set attribute, like we have done in the session. Okay, so here we have declared the name of the page context object and the value associated with that, that is that whatever we have extracted, and then the page context, and then we have to give the session scope. Okay, so like you have declared a session variable, in the same way we can also do this with the help of page context. Okay, so we have a next hyperlink that will be redirected to a next page. So we have a second JSP page with the help of second.jsp, and in second.jsp again we have typecasted it to a string type, and we will extract the attribute with the help of page context dot get attribute, like in the same way we have done in the particular session. Okay, so page context dot get attribute, and here will pass the page context username and the page context dot session scope. Okay, so it will extract the session variable with the help of page context, and it will be printed. It will be executed in the same way we have done in the particular session variable. Okay, and next we have a page implicit object. So in page implicit object, here his object is assigned to the reference of auto generated servlet class, and it is written as object page equal to this. Okay, this is not practically used anywhere. It is not much of so use. Next we have a exception implicit object. So I think we have this particular exception implicit object, and we can do this with the help of this error.jsp page. We have to create this error.jsp page. This is not a standard page, but you have to define an error page in your project. So if any type of error exists in your project, then it will be redirected to the error.jsp. Okay, so we have to do two more. Practically we have to do the exception and a page context. I will do these two example in the next video. here I will tell you theoretically that if you want to create a particular any page as an error page, you have to set the is error page value to be true. Okay, and in the page you have to define this at the page, and the whatever the exception is occurred, it will be printed like this, because directly the expression is, we have used the expression, and directly the value of the exception is whatever the exception occurs on the page, it will be printed here. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video here. I will do the practically implementation of the exception and the page context in the next video. Okay, thank you.